Welcome, duelists. My hair is telling me that it's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys another update video. Update number 3 for the FBL contact. That's right, the False Bound League Season 2222 scoring update. Where do we stand? Well, as we know from the end of the last update video, here were the standings, and we already had 2 bow outs, both Graceful of the Toronto Blue Eyes and myself of the Dallas Dark Clowns. We've both lost the run. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys and say that we're the only ones, because here is the latest update that we're going to talk about, and you can see some major changes here, can't you? You can see some major changes. Already the Miami Meteors and the Louisville Launchers are both disqualified, or out, I should say, not disqualified, but out of the running as well. So it's down to only 3 players. In fact, the only 3 players to complete Season 1 are back at it to see who's going to be crowned the champion for Season 2, if they make it that far. But let's just go underway here. Starting off with Tom, of course, the coach of the Philadelphia Paralyzers, his armored zombie extraordinaire. Tom actually is not a machine, he's a man. Rocky 4 taught us that lesson, and he could not completely sweep Season 2 100% of the Kaiba campaign. He had 2 losses. They were critical hits and such, but he did have 2 losses, and he's, as far as completion, he's finished mission 19, and he's down to 190 points with only 2 monster losses. Still doing incredibly well, but I mean, he was going on strong with that clean 200 points for way too long. It was insane. Then, unfortunately, once again, Second Flock and the Miami Meteors. He ended up bowing out in Mission 15. Mission 15 really wrecked his shit. There's no other way to put it. It wrecked his shit completely. He went down to 0 points, 18 to 6. So 18 monsters, 6 martial losses, and he got... There was a lot of decimation going on there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join the call at the time, but I was there in the text chat and just watching and waiting for things to go down, because at the time it looked like things were going from bad to worse for the poor Meteors. So Second Flock is officially out as of the last completed mission was Mission 14. We already covered both Graceful finishing at Mission 17 and myself finishing at Mission 19, both with 18 to 6, similar to the Second Flock. Toronto Blue Eyes finishes with the same score, though a few missions ahead, and I myself finished further than both with 55 points remaining and a score of 12 to 4. So, but we're both bowed out, and we already discussed that at the last update video. Now, we're on to Plays of the New Orleans Spectres, who has finished Mission 17 and has a loss of only 2 monsters. 2 monsters. Once again, Tom and Plays are tied for first place currently. 2 monster losses, 190 points each, though Tom is a couple missions further than Plays, so that score may not remain the same depending on what happens in the next couple of missions. And then, unfortunately, another one who had to bow out. Louisville Launchers of Alex. Alex only finished Mission 15, one more mission than Second Flock, managed to finish Guidance, but also lost completely, down to 0 points, 20 to 7. The worst score loss that we've had in the game thus far. Now, granted, you lose. You're down to 0 life points. I don't know if the score of Marshall to Monster really matters that much, but yeah, a heavy loss. Alex was sitting there with 40 points, though, for the longest time. The fact that Alex went so far with only 40 life points remaining and managed to complete not just 1 or 2 missions, but I believe from Mission 9 all the way up to Mission 15 is commendable, is actually really good. So good on Alex for actually sticking it out with being in last place, other than Graceful and myself, and really putting in the work so to have a half decent run and the end of the Louisville Launchers run for Season 2. Now, the last one, of course, is ZZ Knapp of the Montreal Moths, who has seemingly kept his goat alive, the Montreal Moth himself. ZZ is on Mission 18, or finished Mission 18, sorry, with 120 points. Not looking as crisp as the Spectres or the Paralyzers. But the Moths are doing okay, 120 points, with a score of 10-3, 10 monster losses and 3 martial losses. Now still, once again, has some of his powerhouses still remaining, so we'll get into that right now. So here's the quick rundown of the monster losses, marshals, points, and etc., etc. So starting off with, of course, Tom and his Philadelphia Paralyzers. He's kept his entire Kaiba team alive. That's the big thing, is that you take a 50-point loss if you lose Kaiba, and that's what drags a lot of people down in points. His Kaiba team is completely fine, no problems there, though he did lose the Kairyushin on Bones' team and alongside Slot Machine on Pegasus' team. Now Bones and Pegasus, I'm not sure how vital or how often he's using them. By the looks of his Pegasus team, I would assume that the Slot Machine was quite a hefty loss for Tom and the Philadelphia Paralyzers, so that's an unfortunate loss, but still sitting very pretty at 190 points with only a few missions left to go. Second Flock lost 2 missions, so minus 10 points, lost his Kaiba team, his Pegasus team, his Mathis team, his Weevil team, his Bones team, and his Labyrinth Ruler team. He wiped all of them, though he kept swapping monsters onto Pegasus' team from Bones' team and vice versa, and in the end still ended up losing the whole run. Very unfortunate too, because he didn't get to the point by mission 15 where he got his Mokuba team back, where he had not only a Blue Eyes White Dragon, but the Rabid Horseman, who of course gets paralyzation very, very early. So it might have been a better choice to, in the long scheme of things, might have been a better choice to have these more powerhouse monsters on better teams. And he also survived with his Rex team, two-headed King Rex, his I forget how to say that, Octosaber, the water type monster there, and a Thunder Dragon. So his Rex team, not too bad, but his Mokuba team, not, at MIA for most of the run, where he probably could have really used those monsters. The paralysis on the Rabbit Horseman especially probably would have been able to get him out of a couple of jams. So unfortunately, he wiped on mission 15. Graceful we already covered, of course, only remaining with Mathis and Labyrinth Ruler teams, and everything else was wiped. Finishing off on, wiping on mission 18 there, which I believe is Banishment. Myself, of course, I lost on Dream World mission 20, and though I have much more surviving teams, there's just no point. It would just be a slaughter. So the only viable monster truly left on any of my teams is the Mega Zowler, who, once again, put in the work on the Labyrinth Ruler team as my last remaining decent monster, who's not going to be able to clear that whole mission by himself, trust me. Then we go down to plays of the New Orleans Spectres, and okay, only lost since our last update on to mission 18, and lost, of course, Dungeon Worm previously, but only has one new loss on the Labyrinth Ruler team, Machine King. Now, I think that was a bit of a loss. The Dungeon Worm and Machine King both are very viable monsters, so losing Machine King probably did hurt. Everyone likes using Labyrinth Ruler. You get him early on. He's a bonus alongside of Pegasus sort of idea. So it's very commonplace for people to hefty utilize Labyrinth Ruler and stuff like that. So, but no other real losses. Plays and Tom, both of the Paralyzers and the Spectres, are both in the running for first place, and we're coming to the wire here, guys. We're coming close to the end. Now, Alex. Once again, I think Alex had a very hard run. Some really bad situations happened, but the fact that Alex, with only 40 points remaining, once again, I just have to give praise to Alex here, because going from 40 points, getting all the way to mission 16, like, I'm just saying, the Louisville Launchers did put in the damn work. They put in the work, instead of just giving up, halfway through and just, throwing monsters in and being like, all right, I died on mission 10 or 11. No. Went through it, got through it, and yes, wiped, but a lot of people have wiped around the high teens, got through more than half of the game, more than half of the campaign, and still ended up, at a decent point, getting to mission 16. I mean, it would be very easy to say there's no way I can do this with only these teams remaining. Alex put in the work. Louisville Launchers, well done. All that was remaining on those teams were, of course, the Mathis Ishtar team with Dragon Piper, Spike Zedra, and Three-Headed Guido. Not really a great team anyways. And on Rex, there was the Hitatsumi Giant, though he sacked Rex for use of the Beaver Warrior on another team, I believe, or something like that. So either way, yeah. A wipe there, but put in the work. Good try. Good, honest try to the Louisville Launchers. And the final, of course, update score is for the Montreal Moths. Now, ZZ, of course, we've already covered the fact that doesn't have the dual pair of Gemini Elf anymore. However, the Mokuba team and stuff was already out there. Now, has kept the Mathis and Bones teams alive, is on mission 19 with 120 points, but completely wiped his very goated, very powerful Pegasus team with perfectly ultimate Great Moth with like 3,500 health points and stuff like that. It's like, whoa, like, what happened there? I have no idea. Insect Queen, perfectly ultimate Great Moth, and the Dorama Cannon completely wiped out. Very, very unfortunate. Already had the big insect there, lost on Rex's team, but also wiped Labyrinth Ruler with Jinzo and Heracles Beetle. Wow. Like, stuffed animal, okay, but Labyrinth Ruler, once again, a lot of people losing to Labyrinth Ruler. Everybody loves Labyrinth Ruler, and it's just like, man, very, very sorry to see such a wipe. So anyway, that was basically, I think I covered everything that needed updating. That was your update. I don't cover the speed run. Some people are still doing the speed run. The Montreal Moths are, of ZZ Nap. Plays of New Orleans is doing that. I wasn't. Graceful was, but is wiped. Second Flock was as well, but wiped. And Tom is not. So the only two left in the running are actually the Montreal Moths and the New Orleans Spectres to do the run. And just looking at it right now, it's close. It's very tight. It's very tight. Only one mission in the difference, and it only looks like about 30 odd minutes in the difference of the playtime. So anything can happen. Anything can happen for sure. I believe everyone's planning to finish the season this weekend, so there'll be another update video after this weekend if everybody finishes. I'm going to wait and hold off until the very end once everybody's completed for the final update, and it'll be the end of season update. We'll see who won, what happened, and then we'll go through who is, who got what place, right? Once again, it goes by score first, and then, goes sort of down from there. Well, it sort of goes mission completion first, like who went as far as they did if you wiped, sort of idea. It goes by that first, assuming that some people do actually complete it, and then we'll just go from there. But either way, that's been your update number 3. Update 3, I believe, on the Falsebound League, the FBL draft for Season 2. Hope you guys enjoyed the update, and we're sort of polishing and thinking about how we're going to do a Season 3, what campaign we're going to play, how we're going to involve it, what changes should be made from Season 2 and stuff, any little bugs, anything people didn't like going into this season. So we're going to be discussing that, of course, and similar things. But so stay tuned for more updates about that. But I don't think that's going to be in the near future either. So either way, thanks guys so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you back here for more FBL content. See ya.